Unscripted, unedited, unmasked. Welcome to part 3. Hey, I'm Orion Kelly, that autistic guy. So like I said, this video is not like my other videos. There is no script, there is no point. I won't be editing it in any way. You could go ahead and say it's like a uniquely authentic, unmasked video. Some will say, what's the point, Orion? Like, what is this? What is it's? I'll tell you what it is. It's a video about nothing. It's a Seinfeld YouTube tribute. I mean, you know, a show about nothing being one of the greatest shows of all time, I guess kind of says that there's nothing that bad about doing videos about nothing. This video isn't about nothing. That's the point of Seinfeld. This video isn't actually about nothing. It just has no script. It's not edited. There's no real direction, but there's always something. So that's the first question to the first, that's the first answer to the first question that popped up in my head when I started talking, because that's all that happens. I'm just constantly getting these, self-limiting questions that pop up. Then what's the next question? The next question is, actually, here's the next question. Why do people have so much hate in them? Why are there people with so much hate? This is, I can't, this last period of time, this last week, I myself have been eaten up or caught in the orbit of people who just have so much hate. And I can't even get my head around why they have so much hate. Now, let's talk about this as a broad general conversation. Just so we're clear though, in my conversation, I'm not going to name people or mention, channels or people of any kind. I'm not naming any parties involved in my little, experience here. Why? Well, because I'm not a moron. That's the main reason. Where's my book? Australian Media Law. Let's get this. Here we go. Australian Media Law. You might not realise this. It doesn't really matter if you do. In some of my videos, I say things like, I studied law at uni. Yeah, that's right. I dropped out because modern universities in Australia are basically, utterly and ridiculously uncommitted to genuine and actual inclusion for neurodivergent students. They say they are, they're not. What they provide is, we'll give you more time. Great, but I have to learn the stuff, yeah? How you help me with that? No. Anyway, so I studied Australian Media Law. I passed this particular unit, right? I did this and I passed it. Hey, I have my book here because one of the writers of the book was my teacher. The person that wrote the book on Australian media law in Australia taught me Australian media law. More specifically, defamation. This is why, unlike people that have sucked me up into their world this week through just sheer hate, unlike them, I'm not going to introduce names or channels or just mean-spirited, hateful spits of nothingness, right? Because my old friend, defamation. Hey, thank you, defamation. In a nutshell, by the way, what are you talking about, Ryan? Like, in Australia, this is in a real nutshell. I'm not going to go into the legal terms. But basically, it's like, let's say there's a person, they have a reputation. And, the community at large, the people in their universe, know them for this particular reputation. And let's say someone says something, and in saying what they said, they have altered the reputation. The person has now had their reputation altered to a way where it's in effect, lowered or ruined the way people, and I'm talking about ordinary, reasonable people, would actually view that person. So you say something about someone, it has ramifications, right? It can alter the way people see them. It can alter their reputation. It can alter, in the eyes of normal, reasonable people, it can alter how they're viewed. And that can, for some people, that's irrelevant. For other people, it's very important. Why? Because reputations, in my opinion, are made over years and reputations are lost over minutes. And that isn't especially acceptable. But anyway, that's my trusty friend Australian media law. So why am I asking the question, why do some people have so much hate? So let's start with the whole, there's a couple of things to unpack here. Let's start with the whole masking thing. So I always say on these particular videos, and I did one, and people seem to like it because they just thought like, well, I can't speak on their behalf. The comments, and you read them yourself. Bloody hell. Even my mind is trying to pull me back, sabotage me. From my understanding, most of the comments were, I felt seen. This is like watching me. As an autistic person, this is like watching me. And this is the best video, you've ever done or I've ever seen. Please make more of these videos. And by the way, can I just say, you might be commenting that right now. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why? Why? That's my question to you. If you want to write, I love this video, I feel seen, best video ever done, do more of these, I want to know why. I don't get it. Because people, I know you realize, because I love you guys in my community, but the people full of hate out there in the world, they think, what? I just click my fingers and hey, there it is. Yeah, man. Are you kidding? I'm an autistic dude trying to make content to help my autistic son. I've said that from the very start. Go back to the first video, whatever, right? And more broadly, that then helps the autistic community, right? That's my intention. That's my reason. This isn't easy for me. I have to come up with ideas. I have to script out the content, right? I've got to produce the content. I've got to present the content. That takes bloody hours, right? Then it could take me a week to, edit it and produce it and make it look in a way that I think is attractive to the mainstream community. I get that autistic people will probably watch it because they resonate and they just like to be seen. So I know already the content's good for that, but then what I'm trying to do is add to that and go, okay, that's great. And then more people we get, the more people it helps my son and these autistic people. So I try to make it look more presentable. And we've been through this. But some people for some reason think, okay, this is these kind of people that seem to be just full of hate, right? They go out of their way to watch my content to just fill themselves with hate for me or what I'm doing, which doesn't make any sense to me anyway. So they might make arguments. It's like, what do you mean unmasked? I don't even see. I can't see even a small portion of your authentic autistic self in your videos. All your videos are highly masked. All your videos are not authentic. There's some pretty hateful things to say. Right? Let me say this: if you're an autistic person and you think you're living more than like a fraction of your life as your true authentic autistic self, then you're kidding yourself. You're not. Let's be clear. One of the core issues for autistic people, after a lifetime of suppressing our true autistic selves, masking, suppressing, camouflaging, whatever you want to say, one of the core issues, one of the core products of that is not knowing who we really are, not knowing how to be authentic. When I do videos, I don't go, hey, it's time to mask, click, right? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm just doing a bloody video to help my autistic son, who still gets bullied on a daily basis, who me and my wife stay awake at night, hoping that his life's going to be okay. Oh yeah, they're really bad intentions. What do you mean I'm not genuine or authentic? I don't know how to be genuine or authentic. I'm an autistic person. Do you know how hard it is for an autistic person to be genuine and authentic? I don't know who. It's like a different planet every day. I'm just doing my best, man. How much hate do you have to be filled with to literally look at my video and all you get from that through just pure hate and mean-spiritedness is, that's not authentic, that's not you, that's heavily masked. Who cares if it's heavily masked? That tells me then he's bloody autistic, I'll tell you. This guy must be autistic. Because the first thing my wife says when she ever hears these types of comments is, tell him to come and live with us for a while. Because, the one place you can't escape an autistic person being autistic is at home. Oh, how bizarre. How do we not see Orion in his authentic autistic self in a 10, 15, 20-minute YouTube video that was recorded and edited. How's that possible? I don't understand. He's not authentic. He's not autistic. I've watched 10 minutes of him, almost, and there's no way. No way. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's why I do these videos. And this is the thing, right? So, again, you're a liar if you want to say people, mean-spirited people or hateful comments don't affect you. They do, of course they do. So that's cool, whatever. But when you start to say things like, oh yeah, well he studied law, right? Or another big thing from these kind of people that just have, I don't understand where the hate comes from. But just want to say things like, well, he did say that he studied acting. Oh my God, I studied acting. It's my special interest since I was like 3 was entertaining and performing. And people go, that doesn't make any sense. It does to me, because if you're entertaining or performing, you're disconnected from the crowd, right? Think about it. If you're in the crowd, you're connected. If you remove yourself and put yourself in the middle or on a stage or in some way away from them, but put on some sort of show, then you're feeling good because you're making people feel good and no one usually accepts you, right? And you don't have to be a part of them. It's basic. Anyway, so every autistic person's different. We all have special interests and passions. Well, does that mean that autistic people who have also studied things like me, therefore can't be autistic or can't be able to do a video and not be told that it's not real or it's fake or it's not authentic or whatever, or it's heavily masked because they studied blah or blah? What a load of rubbish. What a load of rubbish. By the way, just like the old uni course, right? I didn't even finish acting school. Sure, I talk about it because I love acting and performing. Not that there'll ever be any opportunities for autistic actors like me. But anyway, do you see what I'm saying? Because I love it. What? I'm not proud of things. I can't talk about things. But yeah, there was maybe a term left, and I just couldn't do it anymore. And it wasn't about quitting. It was about, this is not. There's another issue here with the way it's done and the way anyway. Whole other thing. So this, I can't get my head around this, guys. Okay, so for starters, and this is like, this is a video that's clearly made. So you can just, I don't know. I don't know why but what I do know is I don't edit this video, yeah? There's no script. I'm not working off anything here, right? And when I say unmasked, what I mean is I haven't come in with a script and, tried to convey a message, which subconsciously, when I am trying to convey a message, when I'm trying to advocate for my son or for myself, or when I'm trying to, if people ask me a question and I'm trying to explain things to them, I'll try to do it in a way where it gets through. If I want to talk to my kid's school and help my kid, I'm going to deliver it in a way where I can connect with them emotionally, whether I make them laugh or whatever, and then give them the information they need. So subconsciously, maybe I turn on a certain persona to reach people. But that's not being unauthentic. That's not masking. That's being a human and trying to connect with someone on a personal level to convey something to them. The idea, so much hate. I just can't deal with it. I don't know even why I do it. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I can't work out where I was. Anyway, there's no script here, as you know, and there's no direction here or point here. I'm just kind of like fizzling out. But do you see what I'm saying? Like, and let me say this, by the way. Let me say this. This is not hate. I'm not being mean-spirited. I'm merely reacting to your content. I'm merely reviewing your content or providing commentary on your content. Yeah, that's cool, man. Like, I do that on my videos. Here's the thing. Here's the difference, right? So let's talk about Love on the Spectrum. So and maybe you don't, go and look. I've done a series of reviews on the Australian version, the original, and the American version of Love on the Spectrum. I've done it where each video, I review an episode. There isn't even a millisecond, there isn't a second of Love on the Spectrum content. As in, there's no vision, there's no audio, there's no content. You can't hear it, you can't see it. There's no sign of me using the property content of another organization or corporation or company or whatever, right? So what I'll do is I'll watch the show, I'll take my notes, and then I'll record a video where I provide my reaction. I'm reacting, I'm providing commentary on something I've watched. Now, I do that. Whatever. That's cool. What you don't get to do, and also what I don't get to do, is use content owned by a production company on my channel, where I'm using it for my gain, to review, commentate, or, in my opinion, just provide hateful comments. Now, you can go, well, what's the difference in what you did to Love on the Spectrum and what you're saying people can do to you? The difference is you can say they're mean-spirited or hateful, but then watch them. I don't see that in the comments. The only thing I ever comment on is advocacy-based stuff. So the stuff that doesn't make sense to me. Why are the parents the stars here? This is a grown man or woman. Why are they only able to date this type or that type? Why is there someone coming in and intervening in a scenario here when it's supposed to be reality? Take that back, documentary. See what I'm saying? Why are you paying the cameraman and the boom operator and the director and the production company, right? Lots of money, but you're not paying the bloody cast members. That's not mean-spirited. That's not hateful. That's me advocating. Now, if you want to watch my content and then use my content, my property that you haven't asked me to use, I certainly haven't given you permission to use, and you want to use that to put on your channel for your gain, to not review or commentate, but to simply use it as a way of spitting out mean-spirited, hateful comments, that is not the same. That is not the same. The purpose of my content is to advocate for autistic people. So if you want to get my content and put it on your channel, the video and the audio, you better be doing it to provide or reach the same goal as that particular video. Because using it as a way of just being able to roll eyes and huff and puff and spit hateful, mean-spirited comments is not the same, is not the point. What you do have the right to do is what I do with Netflix, what I do with Love on the Spectrum. You watch the content, you take your notes, and then you do a video. If you want to use my content that takes me hours to make, that I use to advocate for people, if you want to react, review, or comment on that, go right ahead. But I don't use the property of others, and nor do you get to. Sure, there's policies that allow you to use portions or whatever, but as a rule, you don't just take someone's property without asking them for your own gain to just use it to be hateful and mean-spirited. And can I say, I want to be really clear about this. Because again, this is not about what those people are about, which is being hateful and mean-spirited. So there are no names. You're getting no names. You're getting no channels. Okay? I don't want anyone trying to identify people or make. I just want you to hear this as a thought from my mind on the broader issue with autistic people, because that's why I think it's really important. It's gone, completely gone. That's not what it is. Okay, so there are people, there are content creators that I'm talking about that I felt are mean-spirited and hateful, that just completely broke my spirit. I feel that it's actually more of a widespread thing. Let me ask you this. When I say, why are some people so full of hate? Let me ask you this. Why are some autistic people so full of hate for other autistic people? Oh, you can't say that, Orion. I can, I did, I will. Answer it. Why? It's bloody stupid. Like, the same content creators that I'm talking about with regards to things that I think are just hateful and mean-spirited and have no regard for anything or any other person's rights, being that just personal property, whatever. It's not just me. These content creators are actually playing, I'm not joking when I say this, these content creators are actually playing the content of other autistic content creators, presumably without their permission, because if you watched it, you'd know. Presumably without their permission. So doing it, what they've done doing to me, they're doing to them too. And they're being as judgmental, as mean-spirited, as hateful to them. And I'm not talking about one. I'm talking a handful of autistic content creators are being used on other people's channels, in my opinion, in a non-consensual way, to just be mean-spirited and hateful. Now, I can't get my head around this, guys. I can't get my head around this, guys. I'm an autistic person. I've got an autistic son. I know what it's like being autistic. I know what it's like parenting an autistic kid. I'm just doing my best to help my son. I never once in the world said I speak for everyone or anyone, apart from me, okay? And I always told you my intentions, to help my son, make it a better world for him and people around me. So yeah, I'm trying to help the world understand autistic people better. I say it in every video. I'm trying to help you raise your level of understanding, acceptance, and appreciation of the autistic community. I don't say, I'm here to speak on behalf of the autistic community. That's not the same. And then these people, autistic people, they start to try to segregate us. And this is not my words. They'll say, what's he? He's a high-functioning autistic person, which is a load of shit. Like, seriously. Okay, so there are autistic people and there are non-autistic people. We have care and support needs. Every autistic person has different levels of care and support needs. Some can be significant, profound, severe. Some aren't. Either way, though, but for the need for daily support and care needs, there is no diagnosis. So the idea that you can say, Orion, he's a high-functioning autistic person, how dare he try to speak on behalf of autistic people with significant support and care needs? How dare he? The first thing I'd say about that is, so number one, you know who I speak for. My son, me, and I try to help people, by the way, who aren't autistic, right, to learn about us more. And number two, you're damn right. I hope my content will improve the lives of autistic people, regardless of their care and support needs. They're trying to shovel us into these categories, like high functioning, low functioning. The idea that autistic people would willingly and knowingly go on their content channel and say that, and then say that, high functioning autistic people, like in 2023, this is autistic people saying this, shouldn't speak on behalf of other autistic people, let alone high support needs or whatever. To me, for starters, it's horrifically hypocritical. Think about it. You have an autistic content creator getting on their channel and producing content saying that they, a high-functioning autistic person, is telling another high-functioning autistic person, in their words, me, that I can't speak on behalf of other autistic people. But you're telling me on your channel that I can't speak on behalf of other autistic people, but you're telling me the same thing that you're doing the same thing you're telling me to do. I can't do. That's hateful and mean-spirited. What is wrong? I don't get it. Why would I want to wake up every day when I'm trying to help my son, me, autistic people? Why would I wake up every day and go, geez, I hope I can get in some mean-spirited, hateful experiences with other YouTubers, let alone autistic YouTubers? This is ridiculous. Surely you and we must have better things to do than deal with the hate of our own community. Where do you think this is ever going to go if this is the best we can do? Seriously? Guys, I just don't get it. It's so horrible. Why are people so hateful? Okay, so let's say you're a person who is, and you're a person and you identify, not me, you identify as you want to call yourself high-functioning autistic person, right? Let's say that's you. And you, for some reason, have just decided that you hate other high functioning, in your words, autistic content creators, even though you're one of them. So you're one of them. You've decided, I hate all the others. Why? Because all they do is, they try to talk on behalf of autistic people. How dare they? So I'm trying to work this through. Okay, so let's say that's you. Okay, so you find the people that you hate, and then you get their content, put it on your channel, and you literally, and I've seen some, you literally are judging and patronizing and physically rolling your eyes and making faces as if what they're saying is a crime. Like, oh, I went to law school. I studied acting. Hey, don't forget, a highly trained actor must be masking, right? I mean, you take it with a grain of salt. Like, hey, I've never seen his authentic self, his unmasked self. Like, what does that mean? No autistic person has probably ever seen their own completely authentic unmasked self. Is it possible? Does it exist? I don't know. Seriously, like, give us a spell, mate. I'm just trying to step it through. How did they get there? How did they get there? An autistic person is using their own time, right, while raising an autistic kid to try and improve his life and hopefully, as a byproduct, the lives of other autistic people. And somehow that's a problem. That's an issue because they dare, in your mind, try to help other autistic people. I don't get it. And it's because it's a functioning level. Oh, because Orion, in their opinion, is high functioning, I can't talk about other autistic people. It doesn't make any sense to me. A byproduct is helping all of us. But it doesn't, I just don't get it. I can't step that through. I can't work it out. I don't get it. I don't understand. Why? Why do you have such hate and mean spirit in your comments about me and others? I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. You can say whatever you want about me on your little videos, right? But you don't get to use my own property against me for a purpose that is nothing more than just hateful. That's stupid. Like, it's like breaking into someone's house and using their hammer. Oh, can I, not asking to borrow it, right? Oh, I'm just going to grab your hammer and beat you over the head with it, right? Or going in there, even, asking for their consent. Would you mind if I use your hammer so I can beat you up? Oh, either way, it doesn't matter. I'm going to use it anyway. Like, seriously, what's the purpose of that? I swear, honestly, and this isn't even about me, but this is broader. I mean, one of the autistic content creators that I saw used by this person who just wanted to just use it, honestly, he wanted to just use it to say, how dare they talk on behalf of other autistic people. One of the content creators that they used has passed. This person used the video and audio, the property of another person who has passed, who is no longer with us, an autistic content creator who can't speak for themselves, who can't provide consent, who can't stick up for themselves, who then is used by this person to literally just judge and belittle and make mean-spirited, hateful comments. If you think I don't speak on behalf of other people, in that instance, you're wrong. You want to use the content of an autistic person to judge and yell and misguide and all this crap, and the person can't even speak for themselves. You've crossed the line, champ. See, what do you want? What do you want from me? Like, seriously. And I get, you can say, oh, haters going to hate, all that kind of stuff. Great. But, it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt people. And by the same token too, haters are going to hate. Cool. But the haters that are going to hate shouldn't be autistic people. Like, seriously. Are you serious? I can't step out how this person got there. I can't. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. I can't believe some of the things that this person would say about me, my content, my intentions, my motivations. It's just, I can't believe it. And also, why would you drag videos up from a period of time ago when the context of things were different and then use it in this context based on new contexts, right? And pointed out, like, I'm not even aware of something. Like you can't get a video from 2 years ago and then all these things change in 2 years and go, oh, they just completely forgot the fact that all this has changed in 2 years. I made it 2 years ago. It doesn't make any sense. You know what? I never know what the point of these are, and there's clearly no point to this. I just don't understand, guys. What's with the hate? Why do some people have such hate? I can't step it out. I can't work it out. Why? Why? Like, seriously. And by the way, you know, from a YouTube point of view, I have some real concerns about the idea that there's no distinction between, and I'm firmly for the idea that anyone can get on their channel and create content, commentating, reviewing, reacting to something they've seen. Go for it. In fact, when you do that about me, that stuff doesn't hurt me, because I know, number one, you haven't used my stuff. You're just using your mouth like I do, your own brain and your own mouth like I do, to create a commentary or a review or a reaction. People are going to see it. All you're doing is giving me opportunities to reach more people, to help my son, to help more people. That's good stuff. But when you start to use someone else's property against them, and somehow this is something that YouTube, in some instances, will allow, I don't think that's acceptable. That's very different. It's actually not hard to ask someone, can I react to your video? Yes or no? I mean, can I borrow your car? Yes or no? I can say yes and I can say no. You don't override my decision. There's a big difference. There's a massive difference. And you know what's funny, and this is why I refuse to, to be drawn on specifics, to talk about people or names or channels or whatever. Because the irony is that, number one, all this is doing is providing me with opportunities to discuss issues that affect autistic people. So it's providing me with content opportunities. And number two, they continue to provide me with more opportunities to reach people by talking about me. Yet, how do you reach these people? They might not even exist. I may have made them up just for this scenario. You'll never know, I guess. See, they get no oxygen from me. And they continue to think that what they're doing is somehow righteous or right. It doesn't make any sense. So this is not about me saying that you shouldn't be able to criticize me. Of course you can. Have you seen my comments? Have you read my comments? I'm an autistic guy who goes through thousands of comments a day, the ones I know about. And trust me, a lot of them aren't nice. I've got to read them with my eyes, digest them with my brain. They're with me forever. So, critical stuff, criticizing, I provide that content too. But in a meaningful way, in a legal way. I'm not against that at all. Go right ahead. But don't steal my property to do it. That's ridiculous. Or don't make it, this is the bigger thing too. There's a difference between reacting, reviewing, commentating, and hateful, mean-spirited comments. What do you mean? Why is there a difference, Orion? Because it's called defamation, guys. I studied it. Oh yeah, I studied it. And I went to acting school. So that must mean that I'm really something. I mean, is it just a jealousy thing? I don't get it. Haters gonna hate. Yeah, cool, guys. That doesn't help me. That doesn't help me want to just stop and never come back. You see what I'm saying? And again, so let's make this not about me, and let's make this about the core issue here. Autistic people aren't able to use their time and effort to help other autistic people. And autistic people are allowed to just spend their days spreading hateful comments about other autistic people because they don't like the idea that they would speak for them when that's... even if you... And that's the thing too. I can say I don't speak on behalf of you or whatever, but even then, that isn't true, Orion, because I'm speaking for my son, right? I want to make his life better because mine's... Right? I want to make his life better because mine is... Whatever. Anyway, do you see what I'm saying? But there has to be a byproduct. If you plant carrots in a garden to feed your family, the byproduct may well be you can feed the family next door as well. Does that mean that you're speaking for the family on what they should eat? No. The byproduct is you've now provided stuff that's useful for others. See, that's a natural byproduct. So you can't speak on behalf of, autistic people who have different needs. Okay, what does that mean? I can speak on behalf of me and my son and help autistic people, and the byproduct may help broader autistic members of the community. So that's not the same thing. It's just a natural byproduct. And that's the time you waste. Forget it. Forget it. Forget it. Whatever. Seriously. Whatever. Forget it. Forget it.